Here we go. I'm going to call the meeting to order at this time. Welcome board members and public as well. Appreciate you being here tonight. I'm going to open in prayer tonight for guidance. Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this city in which we live and those with whom we live and the chance to serve them. Father, I thank you for each one of these board members to my right and left here and for their diligence and their care and concern for the town in which they live. Thank you for those in this room that work for the township and others that aren't here tonight that are dutiful and faithful, go above and beyond, and we're grateful for them. We just pray you would bless them and their duties, give them wisdom and protection and favor, and we pray that in their families as well. Help us tonight as we deliberate and as we discuss, always to keep in mind the best interests of the people whom we serve, and give us wisdom in doing so. We ask this now in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
If you would stand and join us with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. And it appears that we are all in attendance tonight. So we'll move on then to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll move.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported multiple times. Is there anyone who wishes to amend or add to the agenda in any way tonight? We tend to discourage that, but any thoughts? Okay, hearing none. All in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? And our agenda is approved. Item 6, communication letters and reports received for information. Item 7, public comments for action items remaining on the agenda. I think you guys have heard me say this a number of times in the past if you've been here, but this is your opportunity to speak to anything on the agenda this evening. And then there will be a public comment period later on in the meeting where you can speak to any issue you like. So is there anyone here tonight that would like to address the board on topics remaining on tonight's agenda? All right. Certainly we're gonna I think we're gonna treat you. This is probably a good time as any, Kyle. So yeah, go ahead. Leon can come or you can stay with Mom. Board members, last meeting I asked that Roger be here, and then this one that Kyle come as our commissioner, one of our commissioners.
Yep.
And just kind of provide us an update and address the board, and so I appreciate him being here tonight. I think he's promised his family ice cream, so if you see him slip out after this, he's just fulfilling his promise.
Absolutely. Yep. As you know, I'm Kyle Terpstra, District 6 of Georgetown, from the county, so that's southern half of Baldwin, and then this time it kind of came down a little bit more on the west side. Just a few updates. We got a CAP office, the Child Employee Exploitation Program, and what that is to combat sex trafficking. I attend Resurrection Life Church, and they got this program going in with the City of Wyoming Police Department, and talking with the people that started it with Res. I introduced them with Sheriff Kemker, and got that going, and I believe it started in May. So it's up and running now in Ottawa County. So that's kind of a fun thing. What I really liked about it is it's zero money that's from the taxpayer. It's 100% self-funded from different churches and organizations. So it's kind of a really good program that helps out families and kids steer that away. Another thing, we're starting the budget process for the county. So a lot of fun things going on with that right now, working with John Gibbs just on getting a mandated list and then everything else extra that we put on as a county, and just kind of working through and just kind of really doing a deep dive into the budget this year, which really hasn't been the norm in the past. So I'm really excited to be doing that. And then I couldn't make the last meeting, but just a comment on the recycling center. Like I just told Jim, I'm on the Parks Board, and I believe the location isn't certain yet. It could have changed since the last time I talked to them, but they're still debating on where exactly they want to put that recycling center. Then the Parks Commission is putting on a fun run. Looks like we have a few runners up there. So on June 24 is the run walk. There's a 1 mile fun run for like families and that kind of stuff, and then they have a 10K and a 5K race, and that starts at 8 a.m. and 8:30. So if you want more information on that, it's ExplorersTrailRace.com, or just Google Ottawa County Parks Race 2023. But then I just want to ask you guys if you have any questions for me. I know this is a public comment section, so it's not necessarily.
Yeah, no, when we invite you, we want to make sure that board members have a chance to ask questions.
Yep.
I just say fun run sounds like an oxymoron, by the way, but
I signed up today.
Yeah. Did you? All right.
The 5K.
Hey, always rep for us.
I'm really happy for you.
I was going to see if you guys wanted to go too.
The same look on my face as runners do when they run, so why would I want to do that?
I'll hold up a sign that says, "Go Amy Gadsden."
Yeah. And I did talk to the one of the ministers at Res Life the other day about that news center that's on their property.
Yep, the House of Hope.
Yes, that sounds amazing.
It's going to be quite game-changing in West Michigan.
Yes.
They took on the responsibility of refuse to do nothing about it, because there's a numerous amount of organizations that raise awareness for sex trafficking but don't necessarily do anything to fight it or do anything about it. And this program really deep dives and helps kids and families. So,
is there something on the website that we can find for information on that in Ottawa County?
Please so. I can shoot you guys a link.
Okay.
Do you have an opinion about this recycling? Not that we determined that. We went all through that last week with a representative from the state. I just wonder, as someone on the commission who is aware of it as well, did you have any sort of perspective, pro or con?
I'm somewhat neutral on it. If it's here, it's here. If it's not, it's not. I do know that Grand Valley is one of our largest employers, and that they would utilize it quite a bit. And it also brings us something else to the east side. I know that there's another recycling center in Georgetown, but to have a bigger one that would be able to handle bigger things in more capacity. But if it doesn't, the numbers don't match up and it doesn't sustain itself, then obviously not. So we want to make sure if we give the okay on something that it makes it pays its own bills.
You mentioned you're on the Parks Committee, trails. Is the county have any interest in partnering with Georgetown on any trails that you would like to build?
In what way?
Well, we have looked at a trail from, say, Port Sheldon to the Grand Ravines Dog Park, between the 36th and 40th Avenue corridors, been brought up as a goal, and you're looking at 2 miles. Just curious if the county would be acceptable to partner with the township to build something like that.
I could bring it up at the next meeting. If you want to shoot me an email with some information about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want more information from Rob, we've talked about our utilities committee. It's something we're looking at. It's a long-term goal, but it's also a lot of money and trying to figure out what to do. Of course, we'd be dealing with the road right away of the county.
Kind of tapped out on new projects from the parks.
Mm-hmm.
You say you're tapped out, you say?
Yeah. We've done a lot of buying and expanding with the parks department.
I read isn't the county receiving, or haven't they just received $81 million from the opioid settlement? And if so, do you know what they're planning?
That was the state, not the county.
You're saying that's all the money for the entire state?
Yeah.
And allocation.
The county was $2 million, or
okay.
10 years or something.
Yeah, 81 would be a bit much, wouldn't it? Okay, so
I wish
a couple million. Have they talked about what they want to do with that money?
No. We're going to try to do something with opioid prevention.
So put in that path so people walk and bike rather than
doing drugs.
Yeah.
That is an awesome idea.
Yeah.
I like it.
Infrastructure.
Yeah.
Rather try to have it like a individual try to actually work with people to try to get off of opioids.
I may be behind the news on this, but I know there was some debate about the money from the federal government, essentially, but to the county, that $55 million or $58 million, call it COVID money. But was that allocation made by the previous board upheld, or was it in some way overturned or modified? I don't recall seeing.
No, that money's gone,
It's gone. Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions?
Come on, John, what do you got? County.
What do you enjoy most about your job and you find most rewarding besides your family back there, your beautiful family?
Getting to meet people and trying to make a difference in the county. Trying to represent the constituents of Georgetown and trying to reduce government.
Great answer. We appreciate all you do, Kyle. That's true.
Thanks for coming, Kyle.
Yeah.
Do you get paid more money now that your meetings are about 10 times as long, or?
We get paid way too much.
I was actually going to make a suggestion. At the next
Do we get paid more per meeting than that? No.
I think the commissioners do deserve a raise because previous to this, it was
brought up in front of the board.
It was a rubber stamp board before. Now we've got commissioners who actually do their job, due diligence, and they're spending.
To just make it like you guys really get paid per diem per meeting. So I would be in favor of actually cutting our salaries and just having it per meeting.
I like performance pay. There's some commissioners.
For government officials, I don't think performance. I don't think we should be paying people to try to grow the government, but that's just me.
Reduce.
Is that everything?
Yeah, thank
You
you.
bet, Kyle. Thank you,
You guys have my email or contact information if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. So,
Well, I see you at the
You
rate.
guys got a meeting tomorrow?
we'll see. It's 6:30 tomorrow night at the Philip Moore Complex.
All right.
There might be a few people there, so.
I've heard that it's located remotely in all areas.
Get the Turtle Sunday, okay?
What was that?
Get the Turtle Sunday. Sorry. Go wrong. Thank you.
Kyle.
Thank you for bringing the
And I
family.
never officially closed the public comment period, so if there's anyone here yet that wishes to address any item remaining on tonight's agenda, and seeing none, we'll close that first public comment period. Item 8, the consent agenda. Is there a motion from the board to approve tonight's consent agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Supported. Rather short one this evening. Any comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda is approved. Item number 9 came out of utilities. Is there someone from utilities who'd like to place a motion before the board as it relates to this topic of the SMI?
Yeah, I move that we approve the contract as recommended by the Utilities Committee.
Support. Okay, obviously not a new topic. We've tried what we can to either evade it or to limit it, and I think the conclusion was that we got about as much as we could in the way of concession, and here we are. Was it 361 sites?
Yeah,
60 sites?
Yes.
Yeah. How? I'm sorry,
Driveways, Jim. No driveways.
And no driveway.
Yeah, that's right. No digging up cement and so on. I wonder how were those chosen? You guys probably know in utilities, but how did they select?
Random.
Okay. All right. Huh.
Homes 1988 and older? Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, it was moved in support, right? Ryan, I think I heard you support.
Yeah.
Question or comment maybe is, I saw what would be communicated to the public, and maybe that's not all that would be communicated, but it's defined as DPW process here. Is that representation of what we received what a homeowner would see at one of those 361 properties, or would they see something in addition to that? It's the one that begins that in the coming weeks, a GT staff member will place a door hanger at your residence, et cetera. Is that the initial contact that we have with those 361 homes?
We have a cover letter to go along with that.
Okay. Does that cover letter, Joel, touch on the rationale for why we're even having to do this? Thank you. Thank you, because that there didn't say it as well, and I think people could conclude that A, why are you doing it? B, it's the township initiation of the process when in fact we want to kind of point to Eagle, right? Yeah. And let people know.
That's the one thing I made sure.
Right? Yeah.
I made sure that
it's point
it was addressed that this is the state requirement and not a township requirement.
Good. And that's in that cover letter. Okay.
I've not seen it personally, but yeah.
Okay. In that cover letter, Joel? That is in the cover letter to make it plain that, hey, state requirement, et cetera? Yeah. Okay.
Can we get a copy of that cover letter?
Yeah, we're still tweaking a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, we took this thing from probably going to cost $1 million to start to down to $500,000, and we're all done. We went from having to do 3 holes, 2 by the road and 1 by the house. We no longer do the 1 by the house. We do 2 by the road, which is in the road right away, and they get replaced. And we can get inside the house as long as we see copper coming through the wall. We're good. So, and then driveways is huge because some water service under the driveway end up removing driveways. Right now, we see one in the driveway, you can do the next lot, so we don't have to do that driveway. We can do another home next door to check it. So, you know, we've tweaked it as much as we can. We spent some time with Raj Victory. We spent some time with, we've had some conversations with Eagle. This is the best we can do through 61, but it's still, to me, it's still extortion because we have no lead in the township. We're not going to find lead. It's not there, but it is what it is.
Are we exempt from examining goosenecks? So they did that with everybody. I think they're working with everybody.
More than just game. I know we pointed to games before. Did we more or less get concessions on par with what were the gains that we were?
Allendale, Byron Center, it's all the same. Yeah. They made concessions with everybody. I think if I remember correct, Allendale was $60,000 to do theirs. Byron Center was, I want to say, less than 190 or something like that.
Seriously.
Yep.
Okay. Well, any other comments? We have, as I said, gone over this road before, so. Okay. Hearing no further comments, the motion's before you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? And that passes. Item 10, Department of Public Works, proposed new building, again, out of Utilities Committee. Is there someone from Utilities that would like to bring that motion before the board?
So moved.
Support.
Supported? All right. Well, here again is a topic that's been randomly coming before us, but they're taking the next step or proposing the next step be taken. So thoughts from Utilities or anyone about this? I saw the comparison we all did between us and Zealand as a comparison. I suppose you could have picked a number of different comparisons, but that one certainly looks stark, you know.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a good comparison, to be honest with you. They've got more things going on at DPW than we do, so we wouldn't need a building probably that large. But this is how the process works in government, that you need to get people to do assessments for you. So we pay Lakewood $7,500. So far they've charged us for none of their assessments thus far. They've done some work for us, as you can see by the flyer. And now the $7,500 will pay them to do more deep, in-depth assessment and try to come up with what they may think is a building size and a price and that thing. So that doesn't mean we have to approve that, but this is what we do to get started on the process.
So one step at a time.
Yep.
I agree with Gary, and Joel did a very good job presenting to us the need. And they've been storing their equipment. To have one location would dramatically help them and would help us with our growth. It needs to be done.
I've been pretty 50-50 on this one. My term in there, voting yes, was, in poker terms, seeing the flop. But I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 wavering both ways, whether there's a need there versus more of a want. It's not going to be cheap. and we know that, and there's a lot of things on goal setting that are going to require a lot of price tags coming up here. So we'll see where it goes.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I talked to Dan Carlton about a month before he left when this first came up, and flat out asked him, is this a need or a want? He said it's a want. It's not a need, it's a want. So that's why I've got reservations. I think it's fiscally irresponsible. I think we should have looked at an organization company to come in and see what the workflow is, and we're storing lamp posts inside, which is an outdoor fixture. I don't know why. We're storing hydrants and stuff that the ironworks company stores outside in the yard prior to selling. I think there's other solutions without getting that. Part of it is storing meters or RTUs or the transmitters, but that's just a temporary issue. So we got pallets full of them, but Aetna should have been holding them for us for the deal they got. And if not, that's a temporary thing. It's not forever. So it's, I just think this is the wrong move. And it's going to be expensive. And I think rough numbers, I don't want to quote anybody, I don't want to cause any trouble or hissy fits, but I think we're talking probably at the very cheapest, a couple million, and somewhere around 5, 6 on the high end. I think there's other more cost-effective solutions, and we're not looking for them.
All right, others? All right, hearing no one else, I believe in taking this next step in the process, and I ultimately am predisposed to a new construction build, because I think it's needed now, but even if you would say we're shy of that yet, I think it's inevitable. I don't think building is going to become any cheaper. We have the ability to pay for it cash. We want to be smart about it. You're right. The further steps in the process are going to present further questions and decision making, but I think as far as this first step goes, at least for my vote, I want to see Lakewood proceed with that next step. So it sounds like we're reasonably close on the board, but you either have 4 or 5 votes. We'll find out here in a moment. Anyone else? Hearing none. Perhaps this is one to take a roll call vote on, just in case it's close.
Okay. Mr. Schwam?
Yes.
Mrs. Steele?
Yes.
Clerk is a no. Supervisor?
Yes.
Treasurer?
No.
Mr. Velding?
Yes.
Mrs. Grassman?
Yes.
Okay. It passes 5-2. Utilities, thank you for your work and your continuing work. I know there's a lot more to be done on this question, so appreciate it. Short agenda tonight. Item 11, second public comment period. So those again in attendance tonight, maybe you heard something that triggered a thought. Maybe you came already with another idea, something you wanted to address. You're welcome to do so. And now would be the time. All right. Quiet tonight. Seeing none, we'll close that second public comment period. Item 12, discussion and general information among the board. I'll look to my left, I guess, tonight. Put it this way. Okay.
I don't have anything.
Are we going to get the information about the hazardous household chemicals posted on the Facebook page?
It is.
Oh, what?
Today.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I looked this afternoon and I did not see it. That explains it.
Awesome. Okay, continuing this way. Now next, I would say just a reminder to those who can make it on Monday. After the parade, there's a Memorial Day service in the park. I know several of you have been involved in the past. This year, John's going to be speaking and honoring 3 somewhat well-known veterans from the township and from the area. And there was a flyer that was made up, I think, with Rob Bristow's help that's just really excellent. And I'm glad they're posting that. I'm glad that you guys are posting on Facebook, et cetera, getting the word out. But it's always a meaningful time. You might even get a little choked up. So hopefully you can make it. It starts about 11:15 after the parade. To my right.
Do you have anything, Ryan?
No?
I have one. I received an email from a colleague in the music department at Jenison High School. And this is what it said. The band program is, of course, trying to raise a ton of money because they were invited to march in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade this year. And one of the items that they are doing as a fundraiser is a benefit concert that is going to feature alumni and current students and some former band directors. Their concert is patriotic. It's a patriotic concert that will also include an armed forces salute.
Nice.
And this is in June. And the reason that they reached out to me is because they are trying to get their hands on armed services flags to have in the JCA for their armed forces salute. And so the email was asking if the township would be willing to loan them the flags that are at the Veterans Memorial Plaza down by Starbucks. Specifically, what they're proposing is that they would need the flags from about June 21 to June 24. And that if we were open to this, they would work with a local Boy Scout troop to do the flag retreats and appropriate care and transportation to the JCA, and then appropriate handling within the facility for their concert, and then appropriate transport and putting back up at our memorial or at our Veterans Plaza. I said I had no idea how people would feel about that. But that he sent me this email, I think on Friday, and I said, we have a board meeting on Monday, and I'll bring it up during discussion to see how my colleagues feel about that.
We replace them every, year or two?
Really on condition, right, Chief? How often do we replace?
Do we have the old ones?
Yeah, they're right.
Yeah, that'd be the idea.
Can we lend them the ones that came down? Okay.
That's the reason why I was bringing it up. Is what if we buy them?
If they hung limp on a pole, would you be able to tell if they're not, flying? Because it sounds like they're indoors. Would you be able to tell? Yeah.
Take a look at it. Might be able to
take a look.
steam them up a
Awesome.
little bit.
Or how would we feel about having the Boy Scouts help us put up the old ones for a 3-day stretch and lend them the newer ones to put on display and then have them swapped back out? I'm just asking the questions.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather you either switch them or, because I really want them still up there, especially during June is not really a busy time when it comes to Memorial Day and stuff, but I still would want them still there. So either flip-flop them or use the ones that are here. I'm fine with that.
I'm for a switch, if that's what you need to do. I mean, for something that is this positive, I think people would understand it. I don't think it's denigrating them.
Becky, have you talked to, or has anybody on the committee talked to, the local flag store? Would they have those at a local flag store that they could borrow?
Yeah, I don't know the,
There's several flag, stores that sell flags and flagpoles here in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, I wonder.
Becky, I'll make a call. So we get them from Dutchman Flags, right? I'll give them a call.
Awesome.
So we'll work something out.
Perfect. Thank you.
The flags are very large, so you have to have an appropriate pole.
Big Boy Scouts.
Well, the Jenison Center for the Arts is a tremendous facility as far as high ceilings and all of that, and so I'm sure that they have a plan in mind. Let me see if the email said.
Do you have date and times?
Right. For the concert?
Yeah.
I absolutely can tell you that. 1 second. I think that it's that Saturday.
I think you're going to be surprised that people are going to notice you switch those flags back. I'm just going to tell you that I was in charge of the flags at the church in the corner of 20th and Baldwin. you would be surprised how many phone calls we got when those flags got just a little bit of a tear, or there's certain people that really take that seriously. I'm a little concerned we switched the flags out, and people are like, well, hold on, we got new flags, now the old ones are back up, and I don't know, it's just my gut feeling, because I just know people are very sentimental about the flag.
I agree with Gary. As a superintendent, I would get calls about a ripped flag, and we immediately replaced that flag.
I think short of the ones in the office being shredded, which I don't think they're to that degree, maybe if they hung limp like that, they would be perfectly suitable.
And how long is the ceremony that they're going to be carrying them? Like a minute?
Yeah, I think that they're going to not carry them. They're going to hang them to display them, was my guess. Okay. It's actually a pair of concerts on the 22nd and the 24th.
Of June, did you say?
June 22 and 24. So their director of bands, who, we work closely with for the Memorial Day service at the cemetery, he posted that on June 22 and 24, they'll be putting on a patriotic-themed collage-style concert, including current band members, orchestra and choir students, alumni, faculty and staff, and the West Michigan Community Chorale.
Wow.
It's going to be ticketed performances with all proceeds going to the trip to New York City for the Thanksgiving Day parade. So,
do we have Armed Forces flags at the cemetery?
I don't think we have flags there. We just have that big arch, right?
I think just the arch. Yeah, because we don't replace anything in cemetery, right? There's no flags, Chief?
There is one United States.
One
United States flag. Okay.
Right.
So Becky, I'll get a hold of you tomorrow.
Awesome.
I'll make a call to Dutchman Flags.
Perfect.
And then we'll also check condition.
Love it. Thank you so much. Thank you guys
Sounds
for
like a great event, Becky.
being willing to talk about that on behalf of the music department.
I'm all set, Jim.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Anyone opposed? Meeting is closed.